EGM Network.
Hi, welcome to Silver Linings. I am your host, Janine Barrows, and I am missing my co-host, Raul Perez. Today, he is not with us in the studio, but we are extremely lucky to have Miss Libby Wiseman in, and she is a senior, senior transition specialist coordinator, right? Is that right?
Navigator.
All those good words. Navigators, coordinators, transition. Because all those things are part of it.
Oh, right, correct.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So we're going to pick your brain a bit today, but we'll get into that painful part later.
Oh, okay.
But in the interim, could you share with our guests today what that role, what it means to be involved in that role, and better yet, how you found yourself doing this for others and helping others through this process of aging?
I went through this with my husband, and so going through it is not easy, having to make an adjustment to someone that you've always depended on, and now all of a sudden you're the one that needs to step up to the plate and
big
take
changes
care of things.
then.
Yes,
Yeah.
Changes, and that happens to everyone.
I think
We don't like it, but it happens.
I don't.
No one does. But changes every day.
True. And perspective in life is a lot, and it determines often how we respond to the environment around us.
Correct.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of meeting you many, many, many years back. And in that environment, we were just conversing, and it was actually like a Q&A, and I was trying to offer the best answers I could for some of the questions you have. And if I recall correctly, that was kind of in the beginning of your journey as a answer-seeking individual, encountering your own challenges within your household and for you and your husband.
Definitely.
So it was a brand new beginning path for you.
It was an experience for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're not prepared.
No.
I don't think anyone is ever prepared. And so what I want to do or to show is that it pays to be prepared, to make those plans.
Yeah.
Because without the plans, you have no direction.
And there's a lot too when you say a plan. That's a vast and broad definition for most of us, because it's like little bumps in the road occur before you realize there are huge pitfalls ahead, right?
Definitely.
And in that process, you have to seek out information. And usually you're seeking out for whatever the immediate challenge is, not thinking in the big picture of what that path ahead may look like and require for you to navigate properly through it.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the problem.
Yes.
And remember, when I say plan, plans change. They
do.
definitely, it's not one way. It's definitely one day it's one way, the next day it's another way. It all depends on your health. It's the main thing. So many times that's the biggest stumbling block.
It is.
And nowadays, it seems that we have so much dementia or that type of thing happening that a lot of times we don't want to recognize that.
We don't want to until we have no choice to.
Exactly. That's what happened to me.
And then that puts us in a position to have to run from go, and not a real good calming position to begin gathering information. Now it's emergent and acute.
Exactly. That's why I say the planning, to think about these things. It could happen to me. It could happen to us.
Absolutely. It did happen to you. And I've seen it happen in my family and in the families of others, because we are naturally very focused on what is in front of us.
Definitely.
We easily forget what is behind us and rarely consider what lies ahead. And there are few situations in our lives that really require us to have that kind of all learning, knowing perspective. But the ones that do tend to be very disruptive if not prepared for, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It makes such a difference if you're prepared. And it's not easy to get prepared.
No.
And a lot of times you have no idea what is going to transpire in the meantime.
No sooner do you think you're making a left, you're taking a right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it down.
I've had the privilege of working on the fringe and edge of social needs and geriatric services for the last 15 years, and I've sat with many families to have conversations about what to anticipate, what to prepare for, how to be prepared for those things. And the truth is in our professional environment, we educate one another very easily on these scenarios, these needs, these support services and structures to help lift somebody up who might be engaged in something like this that is weighing them down. But rarely does the average Jane and Joe get educated or have enough wherewithal of information in their toolbox of life to be prepared for such things.
Exactly. And of course, no one wants to leave their home.
No,
They
we don't.
want to stay there.
Yes.
And that is probably one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, making a decision to leave an independent home or making a decision to give up your driver's license, those are extremely difficult and carry a lot of weight, financial weight, emotional weight, social weight that is impactful on the way we make those choices. And sadly, not all of us make choices that benefit ourselves, and we end up usually having to struggle even harder to get up out of that trough, so to speak, that we found ourselves down into. So I love that you and I have had an opportunity to kind of see what happens in our community over the years and find the resources that are pertinent to individuals getting back on task. You know, you said that, yes, your interest in helping educate people stemmed out of your life experience. Something along that path also instigated you to do something in addition to just helping and having conversations, right? Can you tell me a little bit about what you tweaked in your professional environment to kind of meet with where you were experiencing as an individual transitioning through the aging and clinical process with a loved one that you think would benefit our community as a whole?
That's a good question. It's very important that you call on others. Don't be ashamed.
Yes.
So many times, and a lot of times, we don't like to recognize that our spouse, our loved one, if it's a mother, father, that they are going down and that there's not much, and you have to make them make decisions. And a lot of times, parents have been in charge for so long, they don't like turning it over to someone else.
That's true.
So what I really advocate is that while they still can, that they make some of these choices themselves instead of waiting until the children do have to make it.
Right.
And another problem that I've ran into that I had no idea that existed prior to this is the people that do not have family at all.
There's
No
a
children.
lot more of them than we realize.
Oh, it is unreal. And then it is just devastating, really. I'm working with a gentleman now, and it is just, he has no one, a third cousin out across the nation on the other side.
Difficult.
And so, you know, what do they do?
Well, there are things that we're going to talk about, specifically how you've adapted your career in real estate to continue to help individuals that find challenges in the aging and clinical process. But before we delve into some of that, Libby, give me just a moment. We're going to take a small break. We're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to come back.
If you dream of creating a home that embodies sophisticated island living, visit Sunshine Furniture now during our 50% off Tommy Bahama and Lexington Fall Home event. Bedroom, living and dining room, home office, media, and occasional pieces, Tommy Bahama furniture is distinctive and unique, yet inviting and comfortable, and is all 50% off. We're also having a floor sample closeout sale on outdoor furniture where you can save up to half price on selected closeout patio sets from Berlin Garden, Kingsley Bait, Brown Jordan, Telescope, and others. Chaises, chairs, sofas, love seats, dining sets, and fire pits, all built to withstand the Florida elements, and we specialize in replacement cushions, umbrellas, outdoor lamps, and rugs. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales center directly across the street for the best deals anywhere. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and come in now for the 50% off Tommy Bahama Fall sale.
This season, the spotlight shines brighter than ever at Riverside Theater in Vero Beach. Get ready for 4 unforgettable Stark Stage blockbusters. First, the wildly entertaining Little Shop of Horrors. Then, murder gets musical in the Tony Award-winning A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Experience the groundbreaking power of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar. And don't miss the toe-tapping fun of Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. Save 20% when you buy all 4 Stark Stage shows together. Plus, on the intimate Waxlack stage, enjoy bold, exciting performances. Save 20% when you bundle any 2 Waxlack stage shows. Incredible theater. Get your best seats today at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
We are back. Commercials are painless, and we couldn't do this show without them. Plus, our Riverside Theater is pretty cool. So if you get a chance to go out and catch one of those shows, I highly encourage you to do so. Before we move forward, I would be remiss not to say thank you to our actual show sponsors. So I want to give a big shout out to the legal teams at Rooney & Rooney in Vero Beach and at Dill Evans and Rotaback and Sebastian. They have been great supporters of our show, helping spread information and kindness across the Treasure Coast on Silver Linings. Now, before we went to commercial, we were starting to drop into the conversation of what you have done with this life experience to help others. And we talked briefly, just touched that you had a career of being a real estate agent as you were beginning these new steps on new path that was triggered by life's events with your husband, right? Mm-hmm. And so you were garnering lots of information during this time, and you made a career kind of tightened up your career a little bit with a specific certification. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. That's the Real Estate Senior Association as Senior Real Estate Specialist license that you get. It's just a certification through the National Association of Realtors that helps give you some information on what you're going to run across with seniors. That it is a little different from the average list it and sell it.
I'm sure.
That there's a lot more involved. And I went to a number of different people that have been doing this for a number of years. And I had no idea, just being a regular realtor, I had no idea that this field even existed. And so I was really impressed with what I was hearing and what I was learning.
Oh, I like that. And I do think you're right. When we are working with a senior population, especially in the housing, I think of them being in their home for a very long time. maybe needing some repairs potentially, maybe having some liens or secondary mortgages that have to be considered into that process, trying to determine fair value and market value, trying to determine what their future needs are to minimize that impact if it doesn't hit those numbers. There's a lot involved, and never mind where are they going after the home sells, right?
Exactly. And a lot of times, even selling the home isn't the first consideration.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of times, it's where are we going? What are we
Good
going to
point.
do?
That's a great starting point.
Because maybe they don't need to sell their home, or
Okay.
maybe they do need to sell it. And so those are things they need to look at.
All right.
And especially like with so many times when you hear downsizing and decluttering, there is a difference. Decluttering is just getting rid of those little things where you have 20 can openers.
Okay. All
Those
right.
type
I
of
could probably
things.
do some decluttering even in my home. All
We
right.
do, even though it looks nice, there's a lot of things that we really don't need. And that's the decluttering aspect.
Okay. Yeah.
The downsizing is much harder because there are things that you've had for years, things that you value. And if you have children, you discover all of a sudden, oh, I didn't want that, Mom. Why are you giving that to me? That type of thing.
that chest of drawers that they've kept for 3 generations and their great grandmothers had it in their house, but it's very 1800s style, and they're thinking of giving it to their modern grandchild.
Correct.
It may not be such a great desired gift to receive, even though the emotional intention is there.
Right. And a lot of times they will take it, but they really didn't want it. You know how that is.
It is, yeah. I imagine there's some doll collections that have been passed down that end up in a closet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is help them if they want to sell them or help them do that. They can have an estate sale if that's something they want to do.
Yeah.
There are so many ways that I help before even thinking about listing the house on the market.
And there's an emotional attachment. And sometimes that financial need does not outweigh that emotional attachment to something. I know my daughter was born and raised in our home. And the idea of even transitioning now, just because, maybe we want life to be a different way or in a calmer, whatever the reason is, there is that attachment there. Every memory is tied to that backyard, every birthday party to that kitchen. So I can imagine if I had spent another 20 years there or here, how my attachment will be even further and how difficult it is to break that.
Right. And what I tell them to do is take pictures, make photograph albums.
Oh, yeah. Very, very.
Those you can take with you.
Correct.
And
I
look daily if you wanted to.
Back to that memory.
Those are the type of things that they need to do or we need to do.
So in life, most of us make checklists of what we need to do, and then we work ourselves in a task to achieve those. And sometimes they're harder, and we push those harder things to the bottom of the list or roll over to the next day. And you have placed yourself in a position that you can help them coordinate those things and kind of get them taken off the list, get through the emotional wall that is there to the other side, to the meat and potatoes of the decision making, and helping them get over that hump, right? But real estate and selling a home is only one aspect of the challenges that we face when we're aging and we face clinical, uphill battles. And that means that we have to have a broader perspective of what we can anticipate coming down the pike once we enter onto a path like this, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's not easy. And where do you go and what do you do? Do you stay in your home? Is your home senior proof.
That is no joke. I recently went shopping with my 81-year-old uncle for a home, and I had a checklist that he deemed ridiculous that I thought were really pertinent to a future purchase for somebody his age. Yeah, so you're right. It doesn't always mean that the home is appropriate for you any longer either.
You know, how wide are the doors? Can a wheelchair go in?
Correct.
Do you have safety bars in the bathroom? A
Basic
walk-in
thoughts,
shower?
but important.
All of these are little things that when you're thinking about staying in your home, that you should consider.
Yeah, to consider. And they'll be the reason that it's a successful stay if it is a stay. So our show is short, and I wish we could talk in depth about all of these aspects, but I really want to talk about the program that you run, that you offer your time to for individuals if they want to come and learn about this. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's my seminars.
Yes.
Empowering Senior Seminars. I started this year, and I was doing it every other month at the library. And now we have been asked to also have it at the college.
I love that.
And the next one we're having is on scams and identity theft. And
that's a factor.
And this is September, which is Grandparent Month, if you're not aware of it.
It is.
And who are being scammed the most? Your seniors. Because this age is considered the trusting age. So when someone calls or something happens, you right away, oh, yes. And with Al and all of the things, they sound just like your grandchild or your son. And so what do you do? And how do you handle it? And I have a gentleman from the state that is going to be at the college this Thursday, in fact, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
25th.
It's right around the corner.
Right.
It's tomorrow. But it's not too late for people to RSVP, right? Or do they require an RSVP?
Well, we like RSVPs, but they can come anyway.
I like
You're
RSVPs
always
too.
welcome,
Good,
regardless.
I like So that's tomorrow at our local college campus.
Right.
Here
Richardson.
at the Richardson Center. And at what time?
It's at 10.
10 a.m. So they can come out and start taking notes if they are
definitely.
starting to have some challenges and concerns for them or their loved ones that are having some struggles and some decision making ahead of them so that they can have some better outcomes. So your group, you are going to be there tomorrow along with the individual that you have coming to have a conversation, a very open conversation about how to avoid scams, how to be proactive in understanding how technology is impactful in these scams today, and more, I imagine.
Oh, yes.
And you do these how often?
Right now, the college, I'm going to do another one in October,
Okay.
and that's going to be paying for your future.
Okay.
And then in November, it will be grief,
Okay.
and that will be both at the library and at the college.
So always sticking with a theme, always offering education on a specific topic. It's always free to the public.
Definitely.
And it's consistently noted on the website for the activities for the college. So please, there's no reason for you not to be in attendance, for you to come and learn from Libby and her life experience and being able to apply it in your world. Don't wait to the moment of a tragedy or an acute situation or a catastrophic change in capability to be out shopping for answers.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to go out on their hardest days and get an education. So, Libby is one of many advocates in our community and one I highly advise you take time to go and meet with. She gives her time freely. She gives her experience freely to you in hopes that you can learn from that you can make an impact in your world and the world of others that is on a positive note instead of stumbling across the learning blocks of life.
Very well put. That is excellent. I really appreciate the way you worded that.
And it is all truth. So thank you, Libby, for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your information. Thank you for putting together this kind of event, this seminar that's absolutely free to our community members. It is hugely needed and impactful in those lives of those that participate. So I greatly appreciate your time and effort that you invest into our community, and better yet, those that are struggling to find the answers. You are a silver lining in our community, Libby. Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Indeed. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day.